chosen one. Pause for a moment. Stop scrolling. Breathe. This is not a random video, and you are not here by accident. Heaven scheduled this encounter, and your name was written into it before you ever pressed play. Anointed one, divine timing has converged, and God is speaking to you right now. Chosen one, the waiting season has been heavy. The silence, the pressure, the misunderstandings, the spiritual warfare, even the financial delays that made no sense. None of it was punishment. It was preparation. What felt like resistance was refinement. What felt like delay was God aligning authority, provision, and favor behind the scenes. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, the vision awaits its appointed time. It will surely come. It will not delay. Anointed one, hear this clearly. You are standing at the edge of a supernatural breakthrough, not gradual, sudden, not ordinary heaven sent. Elevation is aligning. Doors are unlocking. A divine wealth transfer is moving toward you in ways your eyes cannot yet see, but your spirit already recognizes. Chosen one, remember who you are. Wealth is your calling. Money is your mantle. Breakthrough is your destiny. God did not preserve you to survive. He preserved you to steward abundance. Stay here. Lean in. What heaven is about to reveal will change how you move, how you speak, and how your victory unfolds. Chosen one, lean in, because something holy is stirring in the atmosphere around you, even as you read these words. This is not ordinary insight. This is identity awakening. You've carried questions that you've been too exhausted to speak aloud, and heaven has heard every single one. You've wondered why your spirit feels different, why your discernment is sharper than most, why your heart breaks deeper, why your silence feels heavier than the words you never said. It's because you were never designed to move like the crowd. You were crafted for consecration, for clarity, for calling. There is a weight to your presence that you cannot explain, a divine imprint on your spirit that follows you from room to room, shifting atmospheres, unsettling darkness, and drawing light even when you're unaware. Chosen one, I need you to understand something heaven has been trying to remind you of. Quietly, gently, but persistently. You are marked. Marked by purpose. Marked by heaven's timing. Marked by a destiny that refuses to diminish itself just to make others comfortable. I've walked through enough waiting seasons myself to recognize the pattern. There is always a moment, sacred, subtle, when God begins awakening identity before awakening breakthrough. And that is where you're standing right now. Chosen one. Identity isn't discovered in victory. Identity is revealed in silence. It's in the moments you felt overlooked, misunderstood, even mishandled, that heaven was whispering your truest name. You've carried the ache of being different without knowing why. You've sat in rooms feeling both present and set apart at the same time. That's not isolation, it's distinction. Heaven was forming you in the hidden place, shaping a mantle around you that only silence could protect. People saw your outer life, but God saw your inner assignment. And even when you questioned your worth because others couldn't recognize it, heaven never questioned it for a moment. Anointed one, you were chosen long before the battle began, long before the betrayal happened, long before the misunderstanding wounded you deeper than you admitted. Your silence didn't erase your calling, it amplified it. You've been wondering why God has asked for your stillness. Why He has placed a divine restraint on your tongue, why the safest answer in this season has been quiet obedience. It's because identity isn't declared with noise, it's revealed in stillness. And the truth is, the moment you stopped defending yourself was the moment heaven began defending you. Chosen one, hear me clearly, the very battles that made you question who you are were the battles that confirmed who you are. Every provocation you refused to answer, every accusation you surrendered to God, instead of reacting to every moment you held your peace while your flesh begged you to speak. Those were the moments heaven was writing identity onto your spirit. I know the weight of silent seasons. I've lived through moments where I wanted God to speak louder, to act faster, to vindicate sooner. But I learned what you are now beginning to understand. Silence is often the first sign that God is about to shift everything. When heaven is preparing a chosen one, he doesn't start with victory. He starts with identity. He stabilizes what's within you before he elevates what's around you. He settles your roots before expanding your reach. And the whispers you've been hearing in your spirit, the ones that tell you to stay quiet, to stay still, to wait on his timing, are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of preparation. Chosen one. This is the moment where heaven begins awakening what sleeping seasons tried to bury. You weren't quiet because you were weak. You were quiet because you were being calibrated. Your sensitivity, your discernment, your resilience, your ability to endure pressure without collapsing, these didn't come from coincidence. They came from calling. Darkness has always recognized you before you recognized yourself. That's why you've been attacked in ways others never were. That's why the enemy tried to bait your voice, distract your focus, and exhaust your spirit. But through every moment of silence, God was refining your identity, sharpening your hearing, and preparing your mantle. The breakthrough you're stepping into cannot rest on a shaky identity. It requires a chosen one who knows who they are, even when heaven calls for silence. Anointed. One identity awakening is not the revelation of something new, it's the remembrance of something eternal. Before your name was spoken on earth, it was declared in heaven. Before you took your first breath, your assignment was sealed. Before anyone misunderstood you, heaven understood you completely. And now, in this very moment, God is awakening the truth your spirit has known all along. You are not just another believer navigating spiritual battles. You are a chosen one, positioned for divine elevation. Your silence hasn't been empty. It has been sacred. It has been alignment. It has been preparation for a mantle that cannot be carried by the unrefined. Chosen one, what comes next will shift your spirit. Chosen one. As we move deeper into this sacred journey, I need you to breathe for a moment and feel the weight of what heaven is revealing about your waiting season. This wasn't an accident, a delay, or an oversight. It was divine architecture. Every silent night, every unanswered prayer, every moment where you felt like God was standing still while your life shook around you, none of it was wasted. Anointed one, the waiting season is rarely interpreted correctly while you are still inside it. In the middle of the silence, it feels like abandonment. In the middle of the stillness, it feels like punishment. In the middle of the delay, it feels like denial. But heaven is whispering something different to you today. What you called waiting, God called building. What you called divine distance was actually divine development. And the moments where you begged for answers and received only silence were the moments where heaven was rearranging your destiny behind the scenes. Chosen one, listen closely. The waiting season is never a pause. It is a pruning. The silence that surrounded you was not a void. It was a shield. God wasn't ignoring you. He was insulating you. He wasn't withholding breakthrough. He was withholding exposure, because what he is about to release in your life requires a version of you that pressure had to shape. Waiting exposed what needed healing. Waiting surfaced what needed surrender. Waiting separated you from what could not go with you. Waiting taught you what noise could never reveal. I've lived seasons where I asked God, why so long? Why so silent? Why so heavy? Only to realize later that if He had answered when I asked, I would have stepped into blessings I wasn't prepared to sustain. And that is the same truth heaven is speaking over you now. Anointed One, the waiting was not a delay in your destiny. It was alignment in your identity. Heaven needed your spirit to match what was written over your life. There are blessings you prayed for years ago, but heaven didn't say no. Heaven said not yet. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were becoming. And now, without you even realizing it, you've crossed into a different spiritual posture. You think you're the same person who cried out in frustration months ago, but you're not. The waiting season taught you discernment, taught you endurance, taught you how to stand still without collapsing, taught you how to hear God in whispers instead of storms. These are not small lessons. These are the foundations of elevation. Chosen One, let me tell you what heaven saw while you were waiting. Heaven saw you choosing obedience when your flesh wanted release. Heaven saw you holding on to faith when circumstances told you to let go. Heaven saw you resist reacting when reacting would have felt easier. Heaven saw you bite your tongue in moments where you wanted to fight back. Heaven saw you choose silence instead of sabotage. And because heaven saw what others overlooked, the waiting season is now turning into a release season. You may not feel it fully yet, but spiritually the ground beneath you has shifted. Something in the atmosphere is different. The delay that once felt like a wall has now become a doorway. Anointed One, I know it's been hard. You've been misunderstood by people who never had spiritual eyes to see the calling on your life. You've been judged by those who only saw your silence but never saw your sacrifice. You've been underestimated because God hid your brilliance under seasons of brokenness. You've been overlooked because God was protecting you from premature elevation. But hear me, heaven never overlooks a seed planted in tears. Heaven never ignores a heart refined in silence. Heaven never forgets a soul that stays surrendered in stillness. The waiting season felt like loss, but it was actually gain. It felt like stagnation, but it was transformation. It felt like nothing was happening, but everything was happening. Chosen One, here's the truth most people never learn. Waiting seasons are wombs. They hold what is forming, what is sacred, what is developing quietly beneath the surface. A womb looks like darkness, but inside it is destiny. A womb feels like stillness, but inside it is motion. A womb feels like silence, but inside it is creation. That is what your waiting season has been. You weren't stuck. You were becoming. You weren't forgotten. You were being fashioned. And now the contractions of your spirit, the tension, the pressure, the shifting, are signs that the season is turning. You're sensing change because heaven has whispered it into the atmosphere around you. Anointed One, you need to hear this with your full spirit. The version of you emerging from this waiting season is stronger, wiser, clearer, and more aligned than any version of you that has ever lived. You are stepping out of delay and into divine timing. You are stepping out of questioning and into confirmation. You are stepping out of silence as a burden and into silence as a weapon. And what heaven is preparing to reveal next will not just reward your patience, it will redeem every tear you cried while you waited. Chosen One, what comes next will shift your spirit. Chosen One, As you step from the waiting season into the realm of internal confirmation, something deep within you is beginning to shift quietly, steadily, unmistakably. This isn't external noise, this is internal knowing. Heaven is stirring a recognition in your spirit that no human voice could have taught you. You've tried to explain it before, tried to put it into words, but revelation doesn't always translate into language. Some things are understood only in the spirit. And right now, Anointed One, your spirit is awakening to what your mind has not yet fully comprehended. God has been speaking not through thunder, not through signs in the sky, but through the quiet confidence rising inside you. This is the first confirmation, the confirmation that doesn't shout, it settles. It settles your fears, settles your doubts, settles your confusion. You've been wondering why you no longer panic over the things that once tormented you. It's because God has anchored you beneath the surface. What shook you before cannot shake you now. A clarity has been forming inside you that no one else may notice yet, but heaven does. Chosen one. Internal confirmation often arrives before external change. It's the feeling that something has shifted even though nothing looks different. It's the peace that makes no logical sense. It's the strange calm that falls over you in moments where you used to break. At first, you questioned it. Why do I feel still when everything around me is uncertain? But that stillness is not emotional detachment. It is spiritual alignment. You're beginning to recognize God's voice in ways you never did before. It no longer sounds like instruction, it feels like direction. It feels like knowing without seeing, trusting without proof, moving without explanation. That is the mark of a chosen one. That is prophetic sensitivity awakening within you. Anointed One you use to second-guess every decision, every intuition, every nudge in your spirit. But lately, something has changed. You feel a deeper sense of awareness, almost as if heaven has turned up the volume inside your soul. You're seeing patterns where others see coincidences. You're feeling divine timing where others feel random events. You're sensing spiritual movement even in silence. This is confirmation. This is God's way of telling you, you're hearing me correctly, you're perceiving me clearly. And that inner knowing is not coming from pride or emotion, it is coming from the Spirit, aligning your perception with heaven's blueprint. Chosen one. The enemy has tried to confuse your discernment for years. He used distractions, relationships, situations, even your own insecurities to cloud your hearing. He wanted you to question your calling, question your spiritual sensitivity, question the very things heaven planted inside you. But this season marks a divine reversal. What once clouded your spirit now sharpens it. The very battles that were meant to break you have become the training grounds that built your discernment. You're no longer moved by surface-level chaos. You're reading deeper, hearing deeper, seeing deeper. That is internal confirmation. That is maturity being formed in silence. Anointed. One, let me tell you what internal confirmation really is. It is your spirit recognizing what heaven settled long before you were born. It is the echo of God's promise rising from the inside out. You're not learning something new, you're remembering something eternal. There are moments recently where you felt a sudden pull in your spirit, an unexplainable sense of anticipation. No sign. No message, no breakthrough yet, just a feeling that something is shifting. That sense is not imagination, it is alignment. Heaven always announces movement in your spirit before announcing movement in your circumstances. Chosen one, pay attention to what is happening inside you. You've noticed that your reactions are different. Situations that once provoked you now reveal your patience. Conversations that once drained you now expose your growth. People who once wounded you deeply no longer have access to your emotions. That's not numbness. That's confirmation. That's God showing you what He has transformed within you. You're not who you used to be, even if others still treat you like the version of yourself you've outgrown. You're not operating from brokenness, you're operating from clarity. You're not fighting for identity, you're walking in identity. That is proof that heaven has been shaping your spirit in the silence. Anointed One internal confirmation also shows up as holy discomfort. The things that once entertained you no longer satisfy you. The environments that once felt familiar now feel foreign. Conversations that used to excite you now feel empty. This isn't depression or disinterest, it's elevation. Heaven is removing your appetite for what cannot sustain your destiny. You're not losing passion, you're gaining purpose. You're not disconnecting from life, you're connecting to calling. And that inner shift is heaven's way of preparing you for the divine opportunities approaching you. Chosen. One here, this spiritual confirmation rarely begins with external validation. It begins with internal transformation. Before God changes your environment, He changes your awareness. Before He brings increase, He expands your capacity. Before He opens doors, He aligns your discernment. And that's what you're living through right now. Your spirit is catching signals before your eyes catch evidence. And your soul is sensing movement before your life manifests it. And that silent knowing inside you, the one you can't fully explain, is heaven's indicator that something is already unfolding on your behalf. Anointed One, what comes next will shift your spirit. Chosen One. As we enter the realm of divine timing, I need you to feel the gravity of the moment you are standing in. Heaven operates on a rhythm that does not bend to earthly clocks or human impatience. And yet when God decides that the hour has come, everything shifts at once. Anointed One. You have walked through seasons where time felt like your enemy, where minutes felt heavy, where days stretched long and silent, where months carried more questions than answers. But what you didn't realize was that heaven was not ignoring you. Heaven was synchronizing you. Everything you endured, every tear you shed, every moment you stayed silent when others demanded a reaction, every night you wrestled alone with feelings no one else could understand, these were not wasted experiences. They were divine calibration. God wasn't delaying your breakthrough, He was aligning it. Chosen One. Divine timing is not about slowness, it is about strategy. Heaven waits until the atmosphere matches the assignment, until your character is strong enough, until your discernment is sharp enough, until the people meant to walk with you have arrived, and the people meant to fall away have been removed. You did not miss your moment. Your moment was maturing. You weren't late. You were being prepared. And the silence you endured was not punishment. It was protection from premature exposure. If God had released what you prayed for when you first asked, it would have crushed you under its weight. But now heaven whispers that the set time is here. The appointed moment, the very one written in eternity long before you stepped into this world, is unfolding, anointed. One divine timing always arrives with signs, quiet, subtle, spiritual. Lately you've felt shifts you couldn't articulate, a sense that something is nearing, a pull in your spirit that feels both heavy and holy, a restlessness that doesn't feel like anxiety but anticipation. These are not random sensations. They are heaven's indicators that the season has turned. The delay you thought would last forever is dissolving. Your prayers, once floating in silence, have reached their appointed hour, and God, who seemed still, is now moving swiftly on your behalf. Chosen one. I've walked through seasons where I begged God to hurry, only to realize later that had He moved when I wanted, I would have been unprepared for the blessings I was asking for. Divine timing often feels like contradiction while you're in it. You pray for acceleration, but God gives instruction. You pray for answers, but God gives silence. You pray for change, but God gives endurance. And it's only when the timing shifts, suddenly unmistakably, that you look back and understand why heaven waited. God was not withholding your promise. He was building your capacity. He was allowing silence to strengthen you, allowing pressure to mature you, allowing provocation to refine you, allowing delays to sharpen your discernment. That's why now, at this moment, you feel something stirring. Destiny is leaning toward you. Heaven is leaning toward you. Breakthrough is leaning toward you. Anointed. One divine timing doesn't just release blessings, it releases alignment. People you need begin to appear, resources begin to move, opportunities begin to whisper your name, even your thoughts begin to shift. You start dreaming bigger without forcing it. You start believing differently without trying. You start sensing clarity without explanation. Divine timing is the moment when heaven and earth touch, when what was spiritual becomes tangible. And that's where you are now. You're stepping into a divine alignment that has been orchestrated quietly over years. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Divine timing requires silence. Not because you are being silenced, but because God is speaking through the circumstances you cannot yet interpret. Silence itself is instruction. Stillness itself is movement. Waiting itself is obedience. And the moment you surrendered the urge to control outcomes, heaven accelerated what was appointed to your name. Your silence, painful as it was the very thing heaven used to prepare the ground for your breakthrough. Anointed one. The enemy's greatest fear is a believer who understands divine timing, because divine timing cannot be manipulated. It cannot be sabotaged. It cannot be stopped. When God says the moment has arrived, no attack, no accusation, no delay, no distraction, no weapon formed against you can interfere. Your steps begin to feel guided. Your path begins to feel clearer. Your discernment becomes louder. You find yourself walking in a confidence that your circumstances cannot explain. That is divine timing revealing itself. It brings supernatural assurance before it reveals natural evidence. Chosen one. You've noticed lately that certain things are falling off your life effortlessly. Old cycles no longer grip you. Old temptations no longer entice you. Old wounds no longer define you. Old fears no longer paralyze you. This isn't because you suddenly became stronger. This is because heaven shifted the time. When the set time arrives, the things that once bound you lose their power. The doors that once resisted you begin to open. The places that once rejected you begin to call you. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is the power of divine timing. Anointed one. Divine timing always arrives wrapped in divine order. That's why God has been quiet. That's why He has kept you hidden. That's why He blocked certain relationships, removed certain voices, and closed certain paths. He wasn't limiting you, He was protecting what is coming. He was ensuring that nothing and no one could interfere with the appointed release written over your life. And now, as the timing opens, your spirit feels it before your eyes can see it. You sense breakthrough in the silence. You sense direction in the stillness. You sense elevation in the waiting. Chosen one, what heaven is about to reveal next will shift your spirit. Chosen one, as we step into the revelation of purpose and calling, I need you to open your spirit wider than your mind, because what heaven is unveiling in this moment is not information, it is identity in motion. This is where silence becomes direction, where waiting becomes wisdom, where obedience becomes authority. Anointed one, you were not created to wander through life, hoping things eventually make sense. You were crafted by divine design, woven intentionally with gifts, instincts, burdens, sensitivities, insights, battles and breakthroughs that were never random. Purpose has been stitched into the fabric of your being since before the foundations of the earth were laid. And every season you've lived, every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment of sacred silence has been shaping you into the vessel God ordained you to be. Chosen one. I know there were times you questioned why your journey felt heavier than others, why your lessons were harsher, why your battles were more intense, why your growth demanded so much breaking. But hear this with your whole heart, what God assigns is always connected to what God allows. Your calling required endurance. Your purpose required pruning. Your anointing required separation. You didn't walk through fire because you were weak. You walked through fire because heaven needed you, purified, strengthened, and sharpened for a mantle that could not rest on untested shoulders. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. Anointed one. Calling is not something you choose. It is something that reveals itself in cycles. It appears in the places where you carry passion others don't understand. It reveals itself in burdens that won't leave your spirit. It whispers through problems you feel strangely responsible to solve. It emerges through compassion that rises in you for specific people or situations. And your silence, this divine silence, has been the incubator in which purpose is awakening. When God calls a chosen one, He does not announce it loudly. He stirs it quietly. He unsettles your spirit. He interrupts your comfort. He removes your desire for the ordinary. He breaks your attachment to environments too small for your assignment, and suddenly, without warning, you find yourself unable to tolerate what others settle for. Chosen one, that inner restlessness you felt is not confusion, it's calling. That urge to detach from certain circles is not isolation, it's elevation. That discomfort around familiar places is not rejection, it's redirection. God has been positioning you for purpose without using a single word, and the silence you mistook as abandonment has been God pulling you away from distractions that could have diluted your destiny. Purpose requires clarity. Calling requires consecration. And heaven has been clearing space around you so that you can hear what your spirit already knows. You are chosen to shift something bigger than yourself. Anointed one, let me speak to what you've been wrestling with privately, the fear of inadequacy, the feeling of unworthiness, the uncertainty about what God is asking you to do. Every chosen one in Scripture experienced the same trembling. Moses doubted his voice. Gideon doubted his strength. Jeremiah doubted his youth. Esther doubted her position. But heaven did not choose them because they felt qualified. Heaven chose them because they were ordained. Calling is not validated by confidence. Calling is validated by obedience. And your obedience, your quiet, faithful, steadfast obedience in this season of silence has testified louder than any words could have. Your purpose is not limited to a single role or task. It is the divine impact your presence carries wherever God places you. You shift atmospheres without trying. You bring insight that others miss. You carry peace that others lean into. You feel burdens before others feel the weight of them. This is not sensitivity. This is spiritual responsibility. You've been entrusted with sight, deep sight, spiritual sight. Not so you can fear what's coming, but so you can prepare for what's assigned. And that is why the warfare around you has been fierce. The enemy only fights what threatens him. The pressure wasn't random. The silence wasn't random. The isolation wasn't random. Everything has been forming you into someone who can carry weight without collapsing. Anointed One. You must understand something. Sacred purpose always demands transformation. The person you were 5 years ago could not walk into what heaven is opening now. The voice you had then could not speak with the authority you carry today. The discernment you had then could not navigate the elevation ahead. You needed silence so God could refine your instincts. You needed stillness so God could strengthen your spirit. You needed distance so God could reset your direction. And now, after all you've walked through, heaven sees you ready, not perfect, but positioned. Chosen One. There is something inside you that refuses to die even when life tries to bury it. That is your calling. That is your God-given assignment. It's why you keep rising even after seasons that should have broken you. It's why your spirit keeps reaching for more even when your circumstances say settle. It's why you feel drawn to deeper truth, deeper alignment, deeper responsibility. Purpose will always pull on you stronger than pain. Calling will always outlast adversity, and your spirit is finally catching up to what God has known all along. You were born for something that carries eternal weight. Anointed One. Your purpose is awakening, your identity is solidifying, and your spirit is aligning with heaven's design. Chosen. One, what heaven begins to stir next will shift your spirit. Chosen One. As we step into the realm of financial mantle activation, I need you to understand this with absolute clarity. Wealth is not an accessory to your destiny, it is an assignment. It is not an afterthought in your calling, it is a component of your mantle. Anointed One, heaven has been preparing you for a level of stewardship, influence, and financial authority that cannot be carried by someone who has not been refined in silence. Everything you've endured, the waiting, the warfare, the provocation, the pruning, the misunderstandings, was shaping you into someone who can carry abundance without being corrupted by it. Because for a chosen one, money is never just money. It is movement, it is ministry, it is mission, and the season you are entering now requires resources your past was never equipped to hold. Chosen. One, financial mantles are always activated after seasons of stripping. God removes what you depended on, so you learn to depend on Him. He allows doors to close, so you learn discernment. He lets you feel lack not as punishment, but as preparation. You learned how to value what others waste. You learned how to stretch what others squander. You learned how to give, even when no one knew you were giving. You learned how to live by wisdom instead of impulse. You learned how to recognize God as provider, even when provision didn't look like prosperity. These were not just survival skills, they were spiritual qualifications. Anointed One, financial elevation without spiritual maturity is dangerous. That's why heaven waited. That's why things were delayed. That's why opportunities slipped through your hands in previous seasons. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were unfinished. God was not just preparing the blessing for you, He was preparing you for the blessing. A financial mantle is not activated when money shows up. It is activated when your character becomes strong enough to hold what God is releasing. And you have reached a level of spiritual endurance, humility, and clarity that signals to heaven this vessel can now be trusted. Chosen one. The desire for increase that has been stirring inside you lately is not greed, it is prophetic alignment. You feel pulled toward more because heaven is pulling more toward you. You've noticed how your mindset has shifted. Your thoughts about finances no longer revolve around fear. They revolve around responsibility. You no longer dream of wealth to escape your life. You dream of wealth to expand your impact. This is the fruit of your refinement. God has been reshaping your internal blueprint so that when divine provision flows, it does not distort your purpose, it strengthens it. Anointed one. Let me tell you a truth few understand. Financial mantles are given to those who know how to stay silent, not to those who boast, not to those who seek validation, not to those who flaunt what heaven entrusted. Your restraint, your quiet obedience, your refusal to broadcast your battles or your blessings has proven something heaven needed to see. You can carry what others would drop. You can steward what others would waste. You can protect what others would expose. And silence has become your shield, and because of that, wealth will become your weapon. Chosen one. The enemy has fought your finances so violently because he knows what heaven placed inside you. He knows that when a chosen one is resourced, entire bloodlines shift. Communities shift. Atmospheres shift. You've survived financial warfare that would have destroyed someone without your calling. You've experienced attacks designed not to destroy your bank account, but to destroy your belief in God's provision. You've seen unexpected losses, sudden setbacks, closed opportunities, yet you remain standing. That survival was the test. And chosen ones who survive scarcity become unstoppable in abundance. Anointed one, heaven is activating something over your life that goes far beyond increase. This is not about getting money, it is about becoming someone who money cannot control. It is about walking in a level of divine strategy where your resources create healing, opportunity, liberation, and generational breakthrough. You are stepping into an era where God will trust you with what He could not trust others with. Not because you are better, but because you are willing to be obedient in silence. Chosen one. The shifting you feel is not symbolic, it is literal. Heaven has been rearranging pathways, moving financial gatekeepers, aligning divine connections, and preparing opportunities that match your mantle. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have not entered. Your spirit is being recognized by resources you have not touched. Your footsteps are being guided toward places where provision is already waiting. And the reason you feel a quiet boldness rising in your spirit is because heaven is confirming the mantle is activating. Anointed one. The silence you walked through trained you to hear instructions others miss. Because financial mantles are managed by revelation, not reaction. God will whisper where to plant, when to move, what to build, what to leave behind. And you will recognize His voice because you learned how to hear Him when He said nothing at all. This is the mark of a financially anointed vessel. They move by spirit, not by spotlight. Chosen one, you are entering a season where heaven's supply will match heaven's assignment over your life. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is the moment your financial mantle begins to respond to the maturity your silence created. And as your spirit rises into this new capacity, a deeper truth is beginning to unfold within you. Chosen one, what heaven is positioning next will shift your spirit. Chosen one. As we step deeper into the unveiling of the signs of your approaching breakthrough, I need you to pay close attention not to the noise around you, but to the shifts happening within and around your spirit. Breakthrough never arrives unannounced. Heaven always sends signals ahead of manifestation, and those who carry a divine mantle, those like you, begin to feel the tremors long before the ground visibly moves. Anointed One. The signs have already been appearing, but perhaps you didn't recognize them for what they were. Heaven often speaks in patterns, not paragraphs, in whispers, not shouts, in subtle alignments, not dramatic fireworks. And recently your life has been filled with movements that look ordinary on the surface, but are deeply prophetic beneath. Chosen. 1. One of the first signs of breakthrough is an unexplained internal shift. You've felt it, that strange calm that sits in your chest, even though nothing has changed externally. The pressure is still present. The battles haven't fully ended. The circumstances may even look the same. But you are not the same. Something in your spirit has settled, strengthened, stabilized. This is not apathy. This is divine assurance. It is the Holy Spirit preparing your inner world for the elevation coming to your outer world. When heaven begins to release breakthrough, the Spirit receives it before the eyes see it. That peace you can't explain is the first confirmation. Another sign, Anointed One, is the increasing intensity of warfare right before breakthrough. The enemy always thrashes hardest when heaven is closest. You've noticed how certain people who once remained silent have suddenly started provoking you. How situations that were calm have suddenly become chaotic. How accusations, misunderstandings, and spiritual pressure seem to rise all at once. That is not coincidence, it is spiritual resistance. Hell always sends distraction to those standing on the threshold of destiny. The recent turmoil in your life is not evidence of defeat, it is evidence that breakthrough is near. The enemy does not waste energy on those who are not about to rise, aren't chosen. One another prophetic sign is the sudden closing of old doors. Opportunities that once looked promising have dissolved. Connections you thought would last have ended. Environments you tried to fit into no longer hold space for you. This used to confuse you, even wound you. But now you must see it differently. Heaven closes doors that cannot support your future. When God removes something suddenly, it is because that thing cannot exist in the atmosphere you are being elevated into. Closed doors are not punishment, they are protection. And the recent endings in your life are proof that God is clearing your path. Anointed One, pay attention also to the divine discomfort rising within you. You've been feeling strangely unsettled in places where you used to feel comfortable. Conversations that once entertained you now drain you. Habits that once felt harmless now feel heavy. This discomfort isn't depression or confusion, it is spiritual migration. Your spirit is outgrowing environments your flesh has not yet left. Heaven is pulling you forward, and your spirit is responding faster than your surroundings can adjust. Chosen One, you've also been receiving signs through divine repetition, numbers, dreams, phrases, impressions, scripture references. Certain things keep reappearing in your life, almost as if heaven is highlighting them. This isn't coincidence. Heaven communicates through patterns when a breakthrough is approaching. When the same insights surface repeatedly, it is because the Spirit is preparing your awareness for what is coming. These signs are heaven's way of sharpening your discernment. Another sign, Anointed One, is supernatural clarity. In this season, you've been sensing truth faster. You see people's intentions more clearly. You feel energy shifts more intensely. You discern motives without being told. Heaven increases sight before it increases elevation. This clarity is not paranoia, it is prophetic preparation. God is sharpening your vision so that when breakthrough arrives, you will recognize divine opportunity and avoid demonic traps. This kind of clarity only comes when heaven is moving. Chosen one breakthrough is also preceded by unusual favor. Small things begin working out unexpectedly. Simple tasks become easier. Suddenly, people speak well of you without reason. Doors open you did not knock on. Divine help appears where you least expect it. These are not coincidences, they are whispers of God's hand on your life. Favor is the shadow of breakthrough. It leans in before the blessing fully arrives. Another powerful sign, anointed one, is the internal release you feel toward what once held you emotionally hostage. Grief that lingered for years begins loosening its grip. Painful memories no longer sting the way they used to. You catch yourself forgiving faster, surrendering quicker, letting go more easily. This is the Spirit healing you quietly so that you don't bring old wounds into new seasons. Breakthrough requires emotional space, so heaven frees your heart before it releases your harvest. Chosen one, pay attention to the sudden awakenings in your creativity, motivation, or vision. Ideas flow more easily. Dreams feel more vivid. You sense new possibilities rising within you, almost like fresh breath entering an old room. This isn't random inspiration, it is prophetic impulse. Heaven is stirring the blueprint of your next season inside you. When breakthrough is near, God reignites dreams that slept in silence. And finally, anointed one, perhaps the greatest sign of all, is this: you feel the nearness of God in a way you cannot explain. Even on quiet days, even when nothing dramatic happens, even in stillness, there is a subtle but undeniable awareness of divine presence walking with you. Heaven always draws closer right before a major shift. That closeness is your confirmation. Chosen one. What heaven begins aligning next will shift your spirit. Chosen one. As we step into the realm of supernatural alignment, I need you to come closer in your spirit, because this is where heaven's orchestration becomes unmistakable. This is where things you could never force, never predict, never strategize, begin to synchronize around you with divine precision. Anointed one, supernatural alignment is the stage where God takes every scattered piece of your journey, the heartbreaks, the delays, the silent seasons, the strange inner shifts, and begins weaving them into a pattern that suddenly makes sense. What once looked like chaos begins to form purpose. What once felt like random suffering becomes preparation. What once appeared disconnected becomes interconnected. Heaven reveals itself through movement, not loud or dramatic movement, but precise, strategic alignment that only a chosen one can discern. At chosen one. One of the first signs of supernatural alignment is that your spirit begins to outpace your circumstances. You start thinking differently, expecting differently, believing differently. Not because something external happened, but because something internal has awakened. You're no longer praying from desperation, you're praying from recognition. You're no longer begging God to move, you're sensing that God already has. You're no longer carrying uncertainty, you're carrying knowing. This shift is not emotional, it is prophetic. It means your spirit has locked onto something heaven initiated before you were even aware of it. Heaven aligns the internal world before it aligns the external one, and your discernment rising is the first signal. Another sign, anointed one, is the sudden removal of spiritual interference. For months, maybe years, you battled confusion, heaviness, internal fog, emotional turbulence. But recently you've noticed clarity breaking through. The noise that once clouded your spirit has quieted. The distractions that once drained you no longer pull at your focus. The fears that once paralyzed you now feel strangely powerless. This isn't coincidence. This is heaven clearing your atmosphere. Supernatural alignment requires spiritual space, and heaven has been clearing out everything that once suffocated your discernment. You didn't lose interest in certain conversations, environments, or connections. You grew beyond them. Chosen. 1. Pay attention to how your relationships are shifting. Supernatural alignment will reorder your circle without your permission or participation. People who once stood close are drifting away, not because of offense, but because their season in your story has ended. Others whom you never expected heaven to highlight are beginning to rise toward you with purpose and purity. Conversations feel deeper, connections feel intentional, encounters feel divinely timed. Heaven aligns people before it aligns platforms because elevation requires the right alliance. Every person entering or exiting your life in this season is part of heaven's choreography. Anointed one. Another dimension of supernatural alignment is the increase in divine interruptions. You'll find God disrupting your plans gently but firmly. Opportunities you thought you needed suddenly lose their appeal. Decisions you once felt uncertain about now feel clear. Paths you once considered now seem misaligned with your spirit. You're not becoming indecisive, you're becoming divinely sensitive. Heaven is steering you away from what looks good toward what is God. And while you may not understand these internal redirections, now they will become clear when the breakthrough manifests. Chosen. 1. Supernatural alignment also shows itself through divine timing that feels almost surreal. You think of someone and they call. You pray for an open door and a stranger mentions an opportunity. You ask God for clarity, and confirmational signs begin appearing repeatedly. You release something in your heart, and within days, heaven replaces it with what is meant for you. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is God's hand moving around you with a precision that defies logic. When heaven aligns your steps, even the small details begin carrying purpose. Another sign, anointed one, is the sudden acceleration of things that used to take months or years. Processes speed up. Delays disappear. What was once stagnant suddenly becomes active. You're seeing movement in places where nothing moved before. This acceleration is not random, it is supernatural. Heaven accelerates what you are prepared to steward. And because your waiting season refined you, heaven can now release what was once withheld. Chosen. 1. Supernatural alignment will also awaken old dreams you thought were dead. Visions you tucked away, ideas you dismissed, goals you lost hope for. Suddenly, they resurface with clarity and urgency, not because you're reaching backward, but because heaven is signaling that their appointed time has come. Nothing God placed in your spirit was ever wasted. It simply matured in silence until your spirit and your season aligned. Pay attention, anointed one, to the growing sensitivity in your spirit. You feel nudges stronger than before. You sense warnings quicker. You recognize divine peace more easily. This spiritual sensitivity isn't random, it's alignment. Heaven is attuning your inner ear to recognize where you are meant to walk next. You are no longer operating on instinct, you are operating on revelation. Chosen one. Supernatural alignment also reveals itself in the way obstacles seem to rearrange themselves. What once blocked you begins shifting. Opposition softens. Systems that resisted you begin working in your favor. Opportunities that were previously inaccessible now feel within reach. This is the evidence that heaven has stepped into the natural. What was once hard becomes easy because heaven is carrying the weight you once carried alone. And lastly, anointed one, perhaps the greatest sign of supernatural alignment, is the increasing awareness that something bigger than you is orchestrating everything. You're not forcing anything. You're not striving. You're simply following the pull of peace and direction. This is the mark of a chosen one entering divine synchronization. When your spirit aligns with heaven, life begins aligning around you. Chosen one, what heaven begins unfolding next will shift your spirit. Chosen one. As we step into the realm of divine opportunities, prepare your spirit, because this is the stage where heaven begins placing in front of you what once felt unreachable. These are not random chances or lucky breaks. These are God-orchestrated openings designed specifically for your calling, your mantle, and your next level. Anointed, one divine opportunities come wrapped in timing favor and strategic positioning. They appear when your spirit has matured enough to recognize them and when your character has deepened enough to handle them. And after all, you have endured, after all the silent training, after all the spiritual refining, heaven is now shifting the landscape around you to bring opportunities that match your identity, not your insecurity, not your past, not your pain, but your true God-ordained identity. Chosen one. Divine opportunities rarely look like what you expect. They often arrive quietly disguised in small beginnings or unfamiliar invitations. They come as conversations that don't seem significant until later. They appear as open doors you didn't knock on. They show up as divine connections you couldn't have orchestrated. And right now, heaven is preparing to bring into your life people, platforms, resources, and pathways that were never accessible to you before. Not because you changed everything overnight, but because the season shifted. Divine alignment always leads to divine opportunities, and you have stepped into the threshold of that shift. Anointed one. One of the first signs of divine opportunity is the arrival of clarity. You suddenly feel drawn toward certain directions without hesitation. You sense a yes rising inside you that you did not produce yourself. The ideas that once felt scattered begin forming into purpose. Thoughts that once overwhelmed you now feel doable, almost urgent. This is not internal pressure. This is divine clarity. Heaven does not open opportunities until your spirit can discern direction, and clarity is the evidence that the next stage is approaching. Chosen one. Divine opportunities also manifest through elevated conversations. People begin speaking to you differently, not based on who you were, but based on who you are becoming. They recognize your strength. They acknowledge your wisdom. They treat you as someone carrying weight. And these elevated conversations are not flattery. They are indicators that heaven is shifting your influence. When God is preparing to open opportunities, He allows others to perceive the value that once remained hidden. Anointed. One another way divine opportunities appear is through what I call holy dissatisfaction. Suddenly the things that once fulfilled you no longer satisfy you. Comfort feels like confinement. Familiarity feels too small. You begin sensing that staying where you are would mean shrinking what God placed inside you. This is heaven stirring you toward environments that can hold your anointing. Divine opportunities never come to those who cling to old seasons. They come to those who outgrow them. Chosen. 1. Divine opportunities are announced through divine connections, people who carry keys your spirit recognizes instantly. These individuals may be strangers, but your soul identifies them as part of your next chapter. There is no forcing, no striving, no chasing. Instead, there is a supernatural ease. Conversations flow, vision aligns, purpose connects. God brings destiny helpers into the lives of chosen ones when the assignment is too big to carry alone. And these connections will not drain you, they will propel you. Anointed one, pay attention to the opportunities you did not ask for, invitations you never applied for, resources that show up unexpectedly, messages that arrive at the perfect moment. These are divine markers. Heaven never elevates you without preparing the environment first. And what you are beginning to notice now, these subtle yet undeniable signs of favor, are indicators that the environment around you is shifting to receive what God placed inside you. Chosen one, divine opportunities also appear in the form of open doors that once remained locked. Situations that previously resisted you now respond with ease. People who ignored you now seek your voice. Spaces that felt unreachable now feel familiar. This is not coincidence, this is authorized access. When heaven opens a door, no person, no system, no limitation can close it. And the reason these doors did not open sooner is because the version of you from past seasons was not prepared to walk through them. But the refined version of you, the version shaped by silent submission and spiritual maturity, is ready now. Anointed one, divine opportunities often require courage. Not fearlessness, but courage, stepping forward even when your voice trembles, even when the path is new, even when your hands shake a little. Courage is the proof that heaven has strengthened your spirit. When God brings opportunities, they often stretch you beyond your comfort, but never beyond your capacity. If it feels bigger than you, that's a sign that heaven's hand is on it. Chosen. 1. Another sign is supernatural timing. Doors begin opening exactly when you need them, not earlier, not later. Provision shows up right on time. Insights arrive precisely when required. Divine opportunities flow in rhythm with destiny. You may not always understand the timing, but you will feel the synchronicity. Everything begins to align, not because you pushed, but because God positioned. And this supernatural rhythm is confirmation that heaven is guiding your steps. Finally, anointed one. The most profound sign of divine opportunity is a deep sense of spiritual yes, an inner confirmation that bypasses logic and resonates in your spirit. This yes is not emotional, it is divine. It is heaven whispering, this is the moment you were prepared for. And when you feel that yes rising inside you, it is because heaven has already established the opportunity in the spiritual realm before revealing it in the natural. Chosen one. What heaven is preparing to unveil next will shift your spirit. Chosen one. As we now step into the revelation of the divine wealth, transfer, open your spirit wide, because this is not just a message, it is a supernatural unveiling. What heaven is orchestrating in your life is bigger than opportunity, bigger than elevation, bigger than personal blessing. Trianta. You are entering a realm where resources begin to move according to spiritual alignment, not earthly logic. This is the season where what was withheld is released, what was delayed is accelerated, and what was locked away begins shifting in your direction. Divine wealth transfer is not simply financial increase, it is heaven reallocating resources, influence, and authority to those who have been refined enough to carry them without corruption. Chosen. 1. The concept of wealth transfer is not new. Scripture shows it again and again. Joseph rising from a prison cell to oversee national resources, David stepping from obscurity to inherit royal authority, Solomon receiving unmatched wisdom and abundance, Esther accessing royal favor to influence nations. In every case, heaven shifted wealth, position, and resources to a chosen vessel whose heart had been purified through pressure. And you, anointed one, have walked through a similar purifying process. Your silent seasons, your obedience, your heart's refinement, these were necessary for what heaven is now aligning for you. One of the first signs of divine wealth transfer is spiritual awareness. You've felt it, haven't you? The sense that something is coming, something bigger than a paycheck. Bigger than a promotion, bigger than an opportunity. You've sensed a pull, a weight, a spiritual heaviness, not a burden, but a knowing. This knowing is heaven's imprint that your name has been attached to a blessing that cannot be stolen, cannot be sabotaged, and cannot be intercepted. Heaven is preparing you to steward wealth, not chase it, to command resources, not fear them, to impact lives, not impress people. Anointed one. Divine wealth transfer always follows divine pruning. God removed you from environments where your value was not seen. He separated you from circles that could not celebrate your calling. He shifted you out of rooms where discernment was dull and vision was limited. He allowed financial droughts not because he wanted you to suffer, but because he needed to strip away dependency on unstable systems. Heaven wanted your foundation firm, so when resources begin flowing, your heart remains anchored in purpose, not pride. Chosen. One divine wealth transfer also comes through divine replacement. People, systems, and structures that mishandled their positions begin losing access. Those who misused resources begin experiencing divine redirection. God removes from those who stewarded poorly and reallocates to those who stewarded faithfully in private. You have shown heaven that you can carry responsibility without recognition, generosity without applause, faithfulness without reward. That is the currency heaven honors. And now what was misallocated is beginning to shift. Another dimension of divine wealth transfer. Anointed one is supernatural connections. God begins positioning people around you who carry keys, financial keys, strategic keys, relational keys, opportunity keys. These are destiny-linked individuals who recognize your mantle without explanation. Conversations with them shift your thinking. Encounters with them feel guided. These individuals are part of the transfer. Heaven never delivers wealth without also delivering wisdom and alignment. Chosen. One divine wealth transfer also manifests through sudden reversals. Situations that were stuck become unstuck. Delays break. Legal matters shift in your favor. Closed doors open. Forgotten seeds begin producing harvests. Contracts that once stalled suddenly move. Opportunities that vanished reappear. These reversals are not accidental. They are signals that heaven has entered the situation. When heaven steps in, impossible outcomes become normal. Anointed one another, clear sign is increased vision. When heaven prepares to release resources, he expands your inner capacity first. Suddenly, you start thinking at a higher level. You dream bigger. You write plans you once felt unqualified for. You map out ideas that used to intimidate you. This expansion is proof that your spirit is being prepared to handle what your hands are about to receive. Heaven never pours oil into a vessel that refuses to grow. Chosen one. Divine wealth transfer also brings strange, unexpected favor. You'll find yourself remembered by people who had forgotten you, supported by people you hardly know, elevated by those who recognize your spirit. This kind of favor cannot be manufactured. It is spiritual endorsement. Heaven is placing weight on your name, influence on your presence, and value on your voice. Anointed one, understand this deeply. The wealth transfer is not about luxury, it's about legacy. It's about the assignment tied to your bloodline. You are the pivot point, the cycle breaker, the generational turning point. What God pours into your life is meant to outlive you. It is meant to break poverty off your lineage. It is meant to build generational stability. It is meant to support divine assignments. You are not just receiving wealth, you are becoming a conduit of heaven's resources on earth. Chosen one. Heaven's wealth transfer also moves through strategy. God will give you ideas, insights, and instructions that produce financial breakthrough. These will not be random, they will be revelation-based. Instructions such as where to plant, when to move, what to build, what to withdraw from. You will sense these directions strongly because heaven is guiding your decisions. Divine wealth is not earned through striving, it is stewarded through obedience. Anointed one. You are entering a supernatural season where wealth will be attracted to your calling, not your effort. You've been through too much to mishandle what God is bringing. You've sacrificed too much to lose it. You've carried too much to waste it. The wealth transfer is not about materialism, it is about mission. It is about placement. It is about impact. Chosen one, what heaven is preparing to reveal next will shift your spirit. Chosen one. As we now step into the revelation of generational purpose and legacy, I need you to feel the weight of what heaven is unfolding over your life. This is not about a moment. This is not about a season. This is not even about the breakthrough you've been praying for. Anointed one. What heaven is doing through you is bigger than anything you have lived, anything you have seen, anything your family has ever experienced. You are not simply rising, you are rerouting the destiny of an entire bloodline. You are not just being blessed, you are becoming the vessel through which generational transformation flows. You are not simply receiving a mantle, you are carrying a legacy that heaven has waited decades, perhaps generations, to release. Chosen one. There is a reason your path has been so different, a reason the warfare has been so intense, a reason the attacks felt personal, a reason you were separated, misunderstood, underestimated, and refined in silence. Heaven was not just preparing you, heaven was protecting what would come through you. You were born as a turning point. You were born to interrupt cycles. You were born to dissolve patterns that drowned those before you. The addictions, the financial struggles, the emotional wounds, the spiritual stagnation, the generational limitations, they stopped with you. Not because you were stronger, but because God placed a mandate on your life that demanded separation, elevation, and consecration. And now heaven is revealing the truth. You are the chosen vessel through which generational purpose is being rewritten. Anointed one, legacy is not something you leave behind. It is something you build through every decision, every surrender, every sacrifice. You didn't know it at the time, but your obedience in private, your silence during conflict, your faith through storms, your willingness to heal, your refusal to repeat patterns, your courage to walk away from what was familiar. All of this has been forming the foundation of a new lineage. You are not just changing your life, you are altering the spiritual architecture of your entire family line. Heaven chose you because you were willing to carry what others could not. You were willing to face what others avoided. You were willing to feel what others numbed. You were willing to stand alone so future generations won't have to. Chosen one, generational purpose often reveals itself through the weight you feel. Even as a child, you sensed things others ignored. You saw through situations that fooled others. You felt the spiritual climate of your home. You recognized the brokenness without being told. You felt burdens that did not belong to you. This sensitivity wasn't weakness, it was assignment. Heaven implanted awareness in you early because your spirit was chosen to shift what your family could not articulate. Every chosen individual is born with a spiritual alertness that sets them apart from the beginning. And now that sensitivity, once painful, is becoming power. Anointed one. You've likely wondered why you've always felt different, why you never fit perfectly into the environments around you. It's because your calling was never meant to be contained by them. You were born with a mantle that required unlearning, unraveling, and rebuilding. You were born carrying a blueprint your family never saw. The dreams inside you that seemed too big for your surroundings were divine indicators of the generational assignment on your life. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. Chosen. One generational legacy is not just about financial inheritance, though that will come. It is about spiritual inheritance, emotional inheritance, mental inheritance. Heaven is restoring sanity, stability, wisdom, and clarity through you. You are breaking patterns of fear, cycles of lack, wounds of rejection, and generational silence. You are healing what no one had the language to heal before. Your transformation becomes the template for those who come after you. Your breakthroughs become access points for your bloodline. Your obedience becomes protection for future generations. Anointed One legacy also manifests through the people God aligns you with. You've probably noticed how your circle has changed dramatically. This isn't coincidence. Legacy requires people who speak life into your calling, not drain it. Legacy requires connections who can see your vision, not suffocate it. Heaven has been pruning relationships not to punish you, but to preserve what is coming through you. Those who couldn't handle your brokenness could never handle your breakthrough. And because heaven knows what you are carrying, God has surrounded you with, or is bringing into your life, individuals aligned with your assignment. Chosen one. Generational purpose also shows through your internal awakening. You're thinking differently, planning differently, dreaming differently. You feel a pull towards stability, structure, expansion, stewardship. These desires didn't come from you, they came from heaven. God always expands the mind of a generational changer before he expands their territory. The thoughts rising within you are prophetic indicators of what heaven is building through you. Anointed. One, remember this generational legacy is often birthed in silence. God hid you to heal you. God quieted you to strengthen you. God removed you from places that couldn't honor your calling. He separated you so you could hear clearly, because what he is forming inside you could not be interrupted by voices of fear, doubt, or smallness. Silence was the womb where your generational assignment was nurtured. Chosen one. You are stepping into a time where your life will speak for you, where your decisions will outlive you, where your breakthroughs will become blueprints, where your elevation will bless those you'll never meet. You are walking into a chapter where heaven's purpose for your bloodline will unfold through your steps, your growth, your mantle. Chosen one, what heaven is preparing to seal next will shift your spirit. Chosen one, as we enter this final movement, the prophetic sealing and activation, open your heart fully, because heaven is not merely speaking to you in this moment. Heaven is commissioning you. This is where everything you have endured, everything you have survived, everything you have surrendered, everything you have grown through becomes spiritually sealed. Anointed one. What you are stepping into now is not just revelation, it is activation. This is where the mantle becomes movement, where the calling becomes command, where the assignment becomes authority. Heaven is not just confirming you, heaven is releasing you. Chosen one prophetic sealing is the moment where heaven marks your spirit with irreversible clarity. It is when the confusion that once clouded your path dissolves. It's when fear loses its grip because you finally realize who has been standing with you all along. It's when the identity that awakened in you, the purpose that grew inside you, the alignment that surrounded you, and the wealth transfer prepared for you all converge into a spiritual declaration: this one belongs to me. Heaven seals what hell cannot steal. Heaven secures what the enemy cannot sabotage. Heaven protects what destiny requires. And right now, heaven is sealing the assignment written over your life. Anointed one prophetic sealing is also the moment heaven confirms your silence has been holy. What you thought was weakness was strength. What you thought was isolation was preparation. What felt like loss was alignment. Heaven watched every tear you swallowed, every reaction you resisted, every moment you chose stillness over struggle, every time you held your peace when your flesh wanted to scream. And now heaven declares, because you honored my instruction in silence, I will honor you in victory. Your silence was the seed. Activation is the harvest. Chosen one, this sealing marks the beginning of divine authority rising in you. Not loud authority, not boastful authority, not performative authority, but the quiet, unshakable authority of someone who has walked with God in hidden places. You are stepping into a chapter where your presence will carry weight. Your words will carry impact. Your decisions will carry strategy. Your steps will carry precision. Heaven has refined your voice by teaching you when not to use it. Now, when God releases you to speak, you will speak with the weight of heaven behind you. Anointed one, prophetic sealing also releases a new level of spiritual protection. There are assignments the enemy cannot touch anymore. There are doors he can no longer close. There are battles he cannot win because heaven has already declared victory. You are stepping into a realm where angels move at your obedience, where divine timing responds to your surrender, where provision follows your purpose. This level of protection is not random. It is earned through trust. You trusted God in silence, and now God is trusting you with supernatural backing. Chosen one activation means heaven is giving you permission to walk boldly in the authority you once questioned. You used to wonder, is this really for me? Am I really called? Am I truly chosen? Those questions are dissolving because heaven is sealing you with conviction. You no longer walk hoping, you walk knowing. You no longer pray, guessing, you pray, discerning. You no longer dream cautiously, you dream prophetically. Heaven is activating a new dimension of certainty inside you, not based on circumstance, but based on covenant. Anointed one prophetic activation brings clarity to your spirit. Suddenly, instructions will come easier, decisions will feel lighter. Your discernment will sharpen like a blade. You'll sense divine timing with unusual accuracy. You'll feel a pull towards certain moves, certain ideas, certain relationships, and you will know deep within, this is heaven. activation means God will begin guiding your steps in ways you cannot deny. And because He refined you in silence, you will recognize His voice instantly when He speaks. Chosen One activation also releases spiritual boldness. You won't tolerate what drains your anointing anymore. You won't apologize for your calling anymore. You won't shrink to fit old versions of yourself. You won't abandon the path to satisfy opinions. Activation unlocks courage, and courage unlocks destiny. Heaven is releasing this courage into your spirit right now, not as excitement, but as a new spiritual posture. Anointed One prophetic sealing also awakens generational authority inside you. You are no longer carrying just your life, you are carrying destiny. Every step you take forward becomes a step someone after you won't have to take backward. Every chain you break becomes a chain your bloodline will never wear again. Every door you open becomes a passageway others behind you can walk through freely. Heaven seals generational assignments through chosen vessels, and right now, heaven is sealing you. Chosen One, this moment marks the transition from silence into strength. Not speaking from emotion, but speaking from anointing. Not moving from fear, but moving from revelation. Not existing from survival, but existing from assignment. Everything in your journey has led you here: the silence, the waiting, the pruning, the alignment, the awakening, the elevation, the warfare. All of it has prepared you for this spiritual sealing. Anointed One, heaven is calling you into activation with authority, wisdom, and supernatural clarity. The mantle is resting on you. The purpose is awakening in you. The wealth transfer is aligning around you. The generational assignment is unfolding through you, and the silence that once felt heavy has now become the foundation of your strength. Chosen One, what heaven is about to breathe into your spirit next will shift you in ways you cannot yet imagine. Chosen One. As we close this sacred moment, breathe deeply and feel heaven settling around you. This is not the end of a video. This is the sealing of a divine instruction over your life. Anointed One, you are standing in your kairos moment at the appointed hour where silence becomes strategy and strategy becomes breakthrough. Heaven has already begun moving resources, aligning opportunities, and releasing angelic assistance on your behalf. What is shifting around you is supernatural. What is awakening within you is divine. Chosen One, I speak blessings over your spirit, clarity over your mind, and strength over your silence. May God vindicate you without you having to say a single word. May every closed door that was meant to protect you give way to doors that were built for your elevation. May your quiet obedience draw wealth, favor, and destiny into your path with heavenly precision. Anointed One, remain aligned. Stay expectant. Hold your peace with reverence. The transfer has already begun, and what God is releasing next will exceed every silent prayer you have ever whispered. If this word touched you, share your spirit's response in the comments so this community can stand in agreement with you. And if you feel led, subscribe for the next prophetic release prepared for your journey. Chosen One, stay silent, stay faithful, and watch God fulfill every promise written in your name.